In a vast and expansive forest where the trees touched the sky and covered every corner of the land, a diverse group of animals called this place home. Each animal had a story to tell. One bright morning, all the animals of the forest gathered in a large open space at the heart of the woods. This spot was known as the Great Clearing, where the animals would convene in times of need or celebration. The animals had decided to hold a grand meeting to discuss the state of the forest and to share stories and experiences. The wise elephant was the first to speak. In his deep voice, he said, "My friends, we have lived in this forest for a long time, and each of us plays a role in maintaining its balance. But in recent days, I've felt that our forest might need some changes. How about we share our stories and experiences to better understand how we can all live in peace and harmony?" The brave lion, king of the forest, agreed and said, "I support this idea. I have a story about the courage of one of my ancestors who defended the forest from a great danger. There was a group of hunters who tried to invade our forest, but one of my grandfathers faced them with bravery and managed to drive them away. This story reminds me of the importance of protecting our land." The swift gazelle spoke next, following the lion's story. "I have a story about the importance of speed and intelligence. When I was young, a hungry tiger chased me. I used my speed and cleverness to escape, and that taught me that strength isn't always the only solution. Intelligence is also crucial." The beautiful peacock with his vibrant feathers said, "As for me, I have a story about beauty and the importance of mutual respect. I've always been proud of my beautiful feathers, but I learned that external beauty isn't everything. I once found myself in a situation where I needed help from others, and it was then that I realized that respect and kindness are what truly make the forest a beautiful place for everyone." The playful monkey, who was always the source of laughter in the forest, said, "My story is about joy and playfulness. We monkeys love to play and have fun, but I learned that there's a time for everything. One day, I nearly lost a friend because I wasn't serious when they needed me. I learned that while play is important, it's even more important to know when to be serious." After the wise owl finished speaking, the other animals, eager to share their stories, decided to take turns and tell their own tales. The powerful tiger was next. He said, "My story is about strength and self-control. Once, I faced a formidable opponent, and I could have easily defeated him. However, I chose to use my strength wisely and gave him a chance to back down. Since then, he has become my loyal friend. True strength is not about overpowering others, but knowing when and how to use it." The brown bear, known for his great strength, said, "My story is about hard work and perseverance. When I was young, I struggled to find food during the winter, but I learned that working hard and storing food in advance is the key to survival. Now I spend every summer gathering honey and berries so that I am prepared for any challenge in the winter." The gray wolf stepped forward and said, "My story is about loyalty and teamwork. We wolves live and work as one family. Once, our pack was attacked by a group of ravens. Instead of fleeing, the entire family came together and defended one another. This event taught me that unity and loyalty are what make us strong." The swift rabbit spoke with enthusiasm. "My story is about hope and perseverance. I was always faster than any other animal, but one day I fell ill and couldn't run as I used to. I felt sad, but I didn't give up. After a while, I recovered and regained my speed, realizing that hope is what drives us forward even in the toughest times." The tall giraffe spoke quietly. "My story is about helping others. Because of my height, I can reach high branches where others cannot. Sometimes I help small birds get food stuck on those branches. It makes me happy to use what I have to assist others." The green frog, sitting calmly by the pond, said, "My story is about adapting to circumstances. We live in ponds and rivers, and sometimes the water dries up. During such times, we learn to live on land and adapt to the new situation. I learned that adapting to changes is the secret to surviving in a changing world. The wild duck spoke excitedly. My story is about long journeys and adventure. Every year, we make long flights across the sky to distant places. At first, I was afraid of these journeys, but I learned that trust and relying on each other make every adventure enjoyable and safe. The swift cheetah spoke with enthusiasm. My story is about balancing speed and patience. Sometimes I need to be extremely fast to catch my prey, but other times I have to be very patient and watch before making my move. I learned that success requires a mix of speed and patience. The gentle panda smiled and said, "My story is about peace and calm. We pandas live a peaceful life and enjoy sitting and eating bamboo. However, sometimes there is disturbance in the forest. I learned that spreading peace among the animals and making others feel comfortable is of great value." The hyena, known for his loud voice, said, "My story is about teamwork. In the past, I worked alone, but I realized that I am stronger when I work with my group. Teamwork not only makes things easier, but also brings a sense of shared accomplishment." The active squirrel said energetically, "My story is about planning for the future. We squirrels gather nuts throughout the fall and store them for winter. At first, I didn't understand why I needed to store food, but now I realize that thinking ahead is what prepares us for any challenge." And so, the animals continued to share their stories, each one offering valuable lessons and insights. By the end of the day, they had all learned from one another and were inspired to live together in greater harmony and understanding. After the worker bee finished speaking, the old tortoise stood up slowly and said, "My story is about patience and longevity. I've lived a long time in this forest and have witnessed many changes and challenges. I learned that life is not a race, but a journey to be lived slowly and thoughtfully. Once, I was in a race with a swift rabbit. Despite being much slower, I won due to my patience and determination to keep going. This taught me that rushing can make us miss out on important things in life." The beaver, known for building strong dams in the river, said proudly, "My story is about perseverance and creativity. We beavers work hard to build our homes and learn from the mistakes we make to improve our work. When I built my first dam, it collapsed due to a design flaw. I didn't give up. I studied the reasons and rebuilt it better. I learned that failure is a part of success and that perseverance and creativity are the keys to progress." The zebra, with its beautiful black and white stripes, said, "My story is about pride in our differences. I always wondered why I had these stripes different from other animals. At first, I felt out of place, but over time, I realized that these stripes make me unique. One day, these stripes helped me escape from a predator. I learned that our differences are what make us special, and we should take pride in them." The strong bull spoke in a deep voice. "My story is about strength and humility. When I was younger, I believed I was the strongest animal. But one day, I faced a huge elephant who was bigger and stronger than me. I realized then that true strength is not in size or muscles, but in knowing your limits and appreciating others." The young owl, daughter of the wise owl, spoke shyly. "My story is about learning from mistakes. I always tried to be like my mother, wise and intelligent. But one day, I made a wrong decision while trying to help a friend without consulting my mother. I realized that wisdom comes with experience and that it's okay to make mistakes as long as we learn from them." The great eagle, soaring high in the sky, said proudly, "My story is about freedom and long vision. We eagles have an extraordinary ability to see things from great distances, which gives us a significant advantage in finding food and avoiding danger. I learned that true freedom comes from the ability to see things from a different perspective. We must rise above our problems to see the bigger picture. The large elk, with its massive antlers, said, "My story is about dignity and honor." One day, I faced another stag that was trying to take over my territory. Instead of engaging in a violent fight, I chose to maintain my dignity and yield the space to him. I realized that honor doesn't come from winning battles, but from making the right decisions that preserve our dignity. The spider, weaving its web between the trees, said, "My story is about patience and craftsmanship." We spiders build our webs with care and patience, and each thread plays a role in maintaining the web's integrity. Once I tried to build my web quickly, but it wasn't strong enough. I learned that mastery requires time and patience, and beautiful things come gradually. The loyal dog, living near the edge of the forest, said, "My story is about loyalty." We dogs are considered true friends to our human companions. One day, my human friend got lost in the forest, and I spent days searching for him without stopping. When I finally found him, I was happy I hadn't given up. Finally, the white dove, a symbol of peace in the forest, shared her story. "My tale is one of peace and forgiveness. There was a time of great battle among the animals, and no one emerged victorious. It was at that moment I realized that fighting only brings pain and loss. I decided to fly around the forest, gathering all the animals to talk about the importance of peace and forgiveness. Since then, our forest has been a sanctuary of love and harmony." As the sun began to set, these stories of wisdom, courage, loyalty, and peace echoed through the trees. Each animal returned to their homes, their hearts filled with valuable life lessons and a deeper love for their forest home. From that day on, these stories became a beacon of learning and inspiration. Every animal, whether large or small, understood their great value and vital role in maintaining the forest's balance and happiness. The forest flourished as a haven for friends, a place where knowledge, bravery, loyalty, and peace were celebrated, and where everyone lived in harmony.